show. This one's for the warrior, yeah. One time for the warrior. This one's for the warrior, yeah. One time for the beyond the show. This one's for the warrior, yeah. One time for the...
Hi, I am Tabitha McGee. I'm happy to welcome you to Beyond the Show. Beyond the Show is a companion podcast to our talk show, which is Unveiling Sickle Cell Beyond the Pain. I am the CEO, and I'm also the host of Beyond the Show. You know, sickle cell isn't just a diagnosis, it's a journey. Most people think sickle cell is just pain and hospital beds, but that's not the whole story. We know there is hope in every heartbeat. And today, we're going to pull back the curtains of what everyday life can be like for sickle cell warriors. But before we get started, help us spread the word about Beyond the Show. Screenshot this episode and share it to your story. Follow us for more real stories from people living with sickle cell disease. Tag us at Sickle Cell GA, and we want you to like it, share it, and click this button somewhere down here. I think it's right here. And subscribe to our channel. We would truly appreciate it. Blaze Eppinger is like a son to me. He's fierce, very creative, smart. He has sickle cell disease, but he's living his life every day to the fullest. And I'm really excited to be here today, sharing this moment with who I call my son. Welcome, Blaze Eppinger.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and kick this thing off.
Yeah, so Blaze, first I want you to explain to the audience, what is your role at the Sickle Cell Foundation of Georgia?
I feel like I do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of federal assistance, a little bit of social media, a little bit of advocacy, a little bit of miscellaneous. So I got my hands in everything wherever the CEO needs me to be.
You have been involved in many different divisions inside of our organization. Let you know we're really growing and expanding, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember when you was also assisting with Camp New Light, right?
Yep.
So you really have had your hands.
Phlebotomy, I be sticking people, I be doing everything.
Sticking people?
Yeah, you know, collecting
drawing
a
the
little
blood.
Right, yeah.
You are one of our phlebotomists now. I almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
You went to school and you aced.
Aced it.
You aced it.
Yeah, a little 6-week accelerated program. After the program was done, we had to take the national exam. And first try, you know, but yeah.
Explain though, what is the biggest part that you do and the role that you play inside of the foundation? I know you say you do a lot of things, but overall, what would you say your largest contribution and the largest role that you have within the company is?
I feel like this not really on my job title, but I feel like I lend my voice the most out of the people living with sickle cell here. Kisalon, Kadeem, Island. I feel like I speak the loudest when it comes to whether we need a news interview or me speaking, those type of engagements, like very vocal. Lately, I've been with the communications team, trying to nail down my pillar there and advocacy. So I feel like my voice is the biggest thing that I contribute to the foundation.
And I would agree with that. And I think your voice lends to a very powerful story, is why anytime there's any media opportunities or time to speak out about sickle cell, I always call you forward, because you, number one, are not ashamed of your disease. I know some others feel, I really don't want people to know. I really don't want to talk about it. First, I want to ask you, what gives you the confidence to talk about sickle cell when so many others sometimes just want to be silent, want to be hidden?
Growing up, I never felt like it was something to be ashamed of. And I guess, it's just who I am. Like, I never felt like or cared how people viewed me, growing up, dating, nobody's really turned me away because of my sickle cell. I did have one instance where a woman told me, I like you, I care about you, but I always wondered how life would be with you with sickle cell, So hearing that from her the first time after going like 20 something years with nobody ever said anything, it made me possibly think maybe people do take that into consideration. And maybe there are people who never talked to me because they knew I had sickle cell. You know what I'm saying? And that would be something that would be on their plate. But I just never really cared. I feel like I'm my own person and a leader in the space, and that I was given my charisma and personality to couple that with sickle cell, and that's why I just speak so freely about it.
I'm really glad that you do that, because I do think that you give a fresh perspective on sickle cell disease as a whole. So you have the genotype what?
SS.
SS. So SS can be one of the
More severe
types of sickle cell disease. Tell me, what's one of your biggest challenges living with sickle cell disease? What would you say your biggest challenge is?
Biggest challenges, past or present still?
Present still, the biggest challenge overall of living with sickle cell disease.
Not being able to live the life that I thought I was going to live. I tell this a lot because, I speak so much, but growing up in high school, I did ROTC 4 years. And my plan was, because I came from poverty, mom not there, dad not there. I was like, my way out is going to be the military. So I was captain of the color guard team. I did drill team. We used to march on the football field with the flag, the colors, and all that stuff like that. And I aspired to collect so many ribbons and ropes and pins, and it was just all filled up. And I'm thinking, by the time 12th grade come, when recruitment start, I'm going to be so decorated that, I'm going to be in there. That's going to be my way out. I'm going to go to college. I'm going to live that life, retire, and then just work a regular government job. And that was my plan.
You had a vision board, didn't you? All mapped out.
All mapped out. It was my 9th grade. I was like, yeah, it's time to buckle down, you know what I'm saying? So I did all of that, and then when it came time to recruitment, it didn't matter how many pins I had or how shiny my shoes were, I had sickle cell, and that was an automatic disqualifier. So to work so hard for those 4 years and develop all that discipline and feeling like I was gonna have a sound structure, and then that not be the case, it kind of just, what now, So that was the biggest challenge that I faced, was seeing a life for myself that is just like a dream deferred at this point. And so I kind of get envious of like my friends and my cousins, and it's not to speak down on them, but who don't have direction. Because it's like, here you are with the healthy, able body, and you could do these things, and you could make something of yourself, and you could climb the mountain, but you just take it for granted, Meanwhile, I wish I had your healthy body so I could do the things that I aspired to do.
Oh, wow. I just think about that when you said it. I did serve in the military as well. And, with your training and everything that you went through, you could have possibly went into the military as an officer already, particularly when you do ROTC. And so I'm sorry that didn't work out, but you know what?
Yeah.
Here you are now,
I had bigger,
doing very
better
well.
things, right? Yeah.
And so help us paint the picture of your journey from childhood to an adult with sickle cell. Share as much as you want to, or you don't have to share what you don't want to.
I got you, for sure. I could be. So childhood, I was born to my mom. She had me very young. My father wasn't there.
Were you born in Atlanta?
Born in Atlanta,
Okay.
Grady baby.
Grady baby. Okay, I'm a Grady baby.
Grady baby.
I'm a Grady baby.
Yeah, January 14th, 91. It was tough because my mom got addicted very early in my young childhood. And my father wasn't present because he was in prison. So I was navigating life and navigating sickle cell by myself.
Wow.
So everything that I had to learn, how to take care of myself, how to do this, do that, it was on my own. Like, it wasn't a mother guiding me. It wasn't a father guiding me. It was a lot of bouncing around, a lot of homelessness, lived in shelters, lived with people who didn't really want me there, but they saw a benefit in my Social Security.
Oh, okay.
Or they saw a benefit, or you can get food stamps. So That went on for a bit. And when I was young, I think I was around 12, I fell into a coma.
Mm.
I fell into a coma because of a complication of sickle cell acute chest syndrome. And so I was in a coma, and when I got out, I woke up and there's people around me who I hadn't seen in a long time. People crying, a lot of balloons, a lot of this, a lot of that. They're like, you was, almost out of here.
Mm.
And because I have no recollection of what took place, I was like, yeah, right. But then like when I seen the tears and all that stuff like that, it was real. I had a lot of bed sores on my arms. Bed sore that I still have to this day on my head from me being still and not being moved periodically. Because the cells need oxygen to breathe, and if you don't let them breathe, they'll start to deteriorate. And so, yeah, I got out of the coma. I thought things would be different, with my mom and her drug usage. But it only took a little while for her to get back to that point. I went to high school, and like I said, I was just trying to be normal, but also realizing that I have sickle cell. So if I would overexert myself trying to keep up with people, I would cause myself to have a crisis. If I would, go too hard playing football in the neighborhood, I would cause myself to have a crisis. Or if I would get too stressed. When you're younger, you don't know the triggers as much as you do. I have a lot of experience now. I'm 34, and I've like kind of mastered it in a sense. And then there will also be crises where you can't just avoid them. It just happens, and next thing you know, you're down for the count.
Right.
But yeah, just navigating life and navigating sickle cell and learning what I can do and what I can't do. And once I got out of high school, I immediately started living on my own. I was like 18. I was using my Social Security to get me an apartment. And yeah, I've been on my own ever since. My mom is fully recovered now. She's not
Praise the Lord.
She's not on whatever. And my dad is out. I'm building a relationship with my mom. We talk every day. She made a video on Facebook because I'm taking her to see Superman this week. So she was pretty happy. She likes stunning, as moms do on Facebook. My dad, I'm trying to build a relationship with him, but I feel like it's difficult because he was so institutionalized for so long that he don't know how to receive like genuine love and kindness yet. So I feel like that's taking some time. But as far as my sickle cell go, I don't be in the hospital.
I'm not.
I do not visit the hospital as much as I used to. The last hospitalization I had was in April, and I was there for 2 weeks. It got a little bad, but I'm still here. God keep keeping me here. Every time I be feeling like it's getting dark or it's getting heavy, I wouldn't say he surprised me because, it's God, but, I push through.
You feel blessed to be here.
I do.
Particularly because they say the average lifespan of individual with sickle cell is about 10 to 12. And so that was right at that time that you was in a coma.
Yeah.
And the fact that you passed that, and here you are today, 34 years old. But I want to go to something real quick, and I don't know if you want to share this, but
Let's go.
I remember when you came to the Sickle Cell Foundation of Georgia, and you asked for a job.
Yep.
And we started you part-time. And then I remember watching you and seeing your growth, and I was like, you know what? I want him on this team full-time. But I remember you was like, well, wait, hold on. How much money am I going to make? Because it cannot mess with my Social Security.
Yeah. So this is the slippery slope with sickle cell.
Yeah.
All right. So I had a couple part-time jobs before I started working part-time here. And I know not everybody's understanding of sickle cell disease. So I remember working at a dog spa. I won't say the name because I don't want this to, if this go viral. But
we will.
No, I was working at this dog spa and I ended up getting hospitalized. And then when I got back, it was just like, she tried to dress it up like, we're not getting business right now. And I didn't believe that because, people love their dogs.
Oh, yes.
So I just, whatever. I realized it was because my hospitalization. Then I started working at Forever 21, and crazy enough, the manager, or I guess GM, she had a fiance who had sickle cell and he passed. So she had a real soft spot for me.
Okay.
So it was like whenever I would go to the hospital, she would be very understanding. But despite that is something that I can't avoid if I go to the hospital. So me being out a week in the retail space is like, I could get somebody who want to, you know what I'm saying, I don't have to deal with that with.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Especially when it comes to like scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
If I miss a week, it's like I had Blaze here in this space, but he's not going to be here. So let me go get such and such to fill this. It's like a headache for them. So, you know, when you offered me full time, we were just getting to this space. So I didn't know how understanding you would be of my hospitalizations.
Right.
So it was like, and then what I know is once you start making a certain amount, it was like, okay, well, you don't basically need the Social Security.
Right.
So they'll cut your Social Security off. So when I was working part-time, it was all balancing out because I wasn't working so many hours to where I could still get my part-time and my Social Security, and then I could just, but as they say for the slogan for Social Security, you'll always make more by working.
You always make more.
So I had just talked, when you asked me, I had just like, kind of had this moment with myself where I was just like, I just gotta take a leap. And that's basically what it was, because the moment I started, then that's where they cut it off, and it was just like, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. I feel like I impact people and make things happen one way or another. So it was something I definitely don't regret.
And that's the one thing that I love about being in this position inside of the sickle cell space. I said that I would never fire someone because they have sickle cell. Now, if a person is just goofing off, don't come to work, calling out all the time, that's a whole different story, right? But you continually show up and you show out with the work that you do. But I remember this one great moment after you had been working for some time. You was like, hey, Mom, come outside, I got something to show you. What was that? How did you feel about that moment, and what was that you shared with me?
I had bought my second car, and the first car I ever bought, I had got it from a loan, a college loan. Like, you know, you in school and you could like take money. So I had got $3,000 and I took two of them and I had bought a used BMW, and I had that car for maybe 3 months. And the tires was bad. And, the Social Security, I couldn't do both and pay rent. So the car just kind of sat in the driveway. But when you live in apartments, they be coming around, they put a sticker on your window.
Yes.
They be like, hey, you got to have this thing moving. You got to be running. You got to, the tag got to be up or we going to tow it. And one day I came out and it was gone. And so that was it. So, yeah. So I had already been saving, but I feel like when I had got my first check, I had just took a little piece of that and put it with what I was saving. And so that had brought me up to $3,000. And then I went to Jeep. And then I bought a brand new, no use, 0 miles Compass. And this is a car. And it's almost about to be paid off too.
It sure is.
It's crazy. So yeah, I had bought that car and you came out and you saw it. It was a great moment.
It was a great moment. How does it make you feel, though, to now, for the first time in your life, to be able to go to the car dealer, have good credit, have money to put down, have a car note, and be responsible for it, and know that it's from your own effort for the work that you put in?
I mean, it feels a lot, and it's not to say one doesn't feel better to the other for other people, but for me, Social Security is like you don't really work or grind for it. It's just like, okay, well, you're sick or you're disabled, then we're just gonna give you this finite amount every month. But with work, it's like the fruits of your labor as opposed to, So yeah, it definitely feels different. Like even like my apartment, like maintaining all the different layers that come to, and it's not even the bills part, it's just the everyday you wake up, it's something else that you need.
Right.
Like somebody had asked me, do you drink wine? And I was like, no. She was like, oh, well, I'm gonna bring a bottle of wine. And I'm thinking to myself, I don't even have wine glasses, cause so I gotta go buy some wine glasses. Like everything, I was in there chopping some vegetables, and this girl's like, you ain't got no cutting board? I'm like, let me put a cutting board. So it's like every day you need something new for real.
I am so excited for you when I hear about that. You know, I remember this time that you and I was accountability partners.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about getting to the next level
We was.
financially, right? And I was like, let me see your savings account.
Yep.
And you would pull it up and show me
Yep.
your savings account, and I would show you mine. And our goal that year was to have, I think,
10
what,
grand.
10,000 in the bank.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Blaze, let me see it. And I was like so happy for you that you hit that goal, because people don't understand it's not about the money that you make, but it's about the money that you save as well. And then having the money for emergency fund,
Yeah,
right?
save your money, because your money gonna save you.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me about your self-care. What do you do to take care of yourself living with sickle cell?
Well, this might sound vain, but I like to get my hair cut. It's self-care depending on how you look on it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when you look good, you feel good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're not feeling your best self, then you already off on the wrong foot.
Right.
So I get my hair cut every week, Tuesday, across the street. And I like to just relax. I feel like I don't like to do too much. I don't really like big crowds. Like somebody invited me to the High Museum. They're like, hey, this weekend, High Museum is free. I was like, yeah, I won't be there.
Right.
Because free equals access. And I mean, everybody gonna be there because it's free. And I'm like, yeah, I don't like large crowds. I like just sitting in my solitude. I was just telling cameraman about, and I should tell this to you too, because you like going to the movies. AMC, right? They have this A-list member rewards thing. So you know how we go to the movies and we spend $25 for one ticket, right? The rewards program is you pay $25 and you can see 16 movies.
What?
16 movies.
You never told me about that.
I just found out. I just found out. I just went to the movies yesterday, going to the movies today, going to the movies Wednesday, going to the movies Saturday. I just found this out.
That's one of our treats. You love taking me to the
Yeah.
movies. I like going to the movies with you. Yeah, that was kind of cool. So you like getting your hair cut, but what else do you do to take care of yourself? How do you? I mean, so you say that you don't like going into places with large crowds and all of that.
No.
Oh, so you say you like to just sit back, relax,
Solitude, video games, cook myself a nice meal.
Okay. You know how to cook?
Now she playing with me, y'all. I don't know. It cut.
The people don't know that you know how to cook.
Yeah, I know how to cook.
Okay.
Yeah, I know
I
how
mean,
to cook.
do you know how to cook? Or I mean, it's like
I cook anything.
scramble an egg, bacon.
I can cook anything you can name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I feel like when people be saying that, I'd be confused, because the only thing you gotta do is go to Google and then just see a recipe, and then you just follow the steps, and then after you follow the steps, you have a meal. And
You
then
would be
cook.
amazed though how many people don't know how to do that. You would just simply be amazed.
I got a friend, she's a doctor, and she be dealing with frontal lobes and cerebral cortex, but sounds confused when I was trying to tell her how to make sauce from scratch. I'm like, how are you dealing with the brain, but you can't make a basic cream sauce? She's like, that's too advanced. Confusing.
Tell me about how do you go managing your crisis?
Oh man, when it's very mild or you feel it coming, that's the best time to try to attack it. Once you're in too deep and that's the worst time. Okay, I know that sounds
Well, go
like,
back for a second, because you just said when you feel it coming on, that's the best time to catch it. What do you do as soon as you feel it coming on?
As soon as I feel it coming on, I go ibuprofen. I go large amounts of water. I go opioid, just to prevent what could possibly be a severe crisis. I feel like we start here, then we won't reach that point.
Okay.
I got heating pad. This is if I'm at home, or this is okay if I'm not just out and about. 'Cause I keep my meds with me. Ibuprofen, large amounts of water, some breathing, stop whatever I'm doing, just relax, and my opioid, and then I'm just chilling, trying to hope it subsides and it doesn't reach 8 or 9 or 10. If that works, then I know you're doing too much. Even though we don't reach this green check, like we're a bit good, I need to just stop whatever I'm doing and just kind of take it easy so it don't get there. But once you done cross into the threshold of, oh, this is bad, I'm in a hot shower, and I'm trying to take my body away from the pain, and I put it on like scalding hot water. So you basically don't feel it. You virtually don't feel the pain no more. You just feel the hot water. And I'm just deep breathing. I'll turn my oxygen on. I put it on, and then I'll lay down, and then I'll take everything I told you already, and then I'm just trying to hope it subsides. And then I'll tell my mom, or you used to be I would tell my partner, but since I live alone now, single, I kind of just communicate. Here we go. Here we go.
Marketing.
Marketing.
Marketing 101.
Silly, man.
Marketing.
No, but since I live alone and I'm single.
That's what happens when you're working at marketing department, huh?
Oh,
Every
man.
opportunity.
I tell I tell my mom so she could be on the lookout. So if I do decide that it's too bad, that she can be on the way and take me, because it'd be like hard to drive. And then the hospital I like to go to is all the way 20 East. That's the Hillendale location. Because I have such a rapport. I've been going there since, 2009.
Okay.
So now it's 2025. Of course, the faces changed because that's a long period of time.
Yeah.
But I know a woman who was just a nurse and now she's head of ER.
Oh, wow.
So just like to have those type of relationships when they see my name, it might be an hour or 2 hours before they can get you back. But once they, let's just Blaze, and then let's move them back. It might be an hour or 2 hours before the doctor decides to change your pain medicine. But when they say, let's Blaze, and then it's like the advocacy helps. For them to know that I'm in the space of advocating for sickle cell, I feel like they appreciate my voice and they also fear it. Because it's like, okay, if we mistreat him,
we're going to write a letter.
yeah, something, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's just like, let's make sure we're on our P's and Q's. So yeah, I try to handle it quickly before we get to that. And so therefore I don't have as many crises as I used to. But before it wasn't that, I was balls to the wall, going crazy. And the next thing you know, in the hospital, I feel like I used to be in the hospital way more when I first got here, as opposed to now where it's just like, okay, I was in the hospital in April. The last time before that was December. So it's like varying months. And here we are, April, May, June, July, and we're going to say we're going to make it to August, November,
That's right.
December, right.
That's right. So the things that you're doing, though, you're also taking advantage of the sanctuary,
of
utilizing the
course.
sanctuary services. And so that, too, is help prolonging.
Yeah, I'm getting infusions in the sanctuary. I'm seeing a hematologist in the sanctuary. And this made my life so much easier, for real, because I used to have to call out. And when I call out, that's PTO.
Yes.
And then when that's PTO, that's one less day I got.
That's right.
But now I could just come up when
Yeah.
the day's about to end and see Anya Bula, and it's not PTO anymore.
That's right.
And I see Clayton, and yeah, 3 different things that I'm utilizing, and I hope to see more of April.
Okay.
I've only seen her one time for a massage, but I be getting naked, so I be trying to be respectful. Yeah.
You don't have to take all your clothes off.
Yeah, but I want to.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. All right, we're going to skip on. Fast forward. Fast forward, really fast forward. So I'm glad to hear that, though, that you're taking advantage of the services that we have at the sanctuary. But more importantly, too, I want to go back for a second. Emory Hellendale, we just signed the MOU, Memorandum of Understanding. And so I'm really excited about that because of you being there and they know you so well, it helped really forge that relationship. And so now we'll have a community health worker that's going there to Emory Hellendale to actually see some sickle cell warriors and refer them and bring services back to the foundation. But when we were there, you talked about before a difference in certain floors, the 3rd floor and the 5th floor. Tell me the difference.
I be out of it.
Okay.
So I don't really know what vague difference they have because like I say, I'm in there, I'm hospital, not this Blaze, what you see right now.
Right.
I know things have changed from when I first got there because before they was afraid to administer PCA pumps. They would just give you a very, what am I trying to say, modest amount because doctors fear over, drugging their patients, which they should. I'm not going to act like these drugs aren't heavy.
Right.
That's not what I'm going to act like. I'm not going to act like Dilaudid, should just be given out like candy. It shouldn't. But there are people who live with sickle cell in this severe pain who need
needs
these
it?
opioids. So when I got there, this last time, right in the beginning, I was told we are trying to solidify a solid routine for patients living with sickle cell. This came from a Black doctor, female, and she pulled out the PCA pump, and I was like, "Whoa, when did you guys start doing? When did you guys start doing PCA pumps?" She was like, "Yeah, this new. We trying to be on the up and up because a lot of patients living with sickle cell, they do prefer PCA pumps because they know it's right there, it's around the clock. They press the button and they're getting their dose, and they don't have to worry about the every 3 hours, the every 4 hours of routine or on the clock medicine.
Pain management, yeah. So what we realized about Emory Hillendale, they told us, is that in their emergency room, it was operated by third-party people. And so they had no idea that there was even a protocol in place by NIH to establish the guidelines for how sickle cell warriors should be taken care of and triaged within 15 minutes of appearing. And she was like, Tabitha, we had no idea. And so when we did our MOU and we provided them with that verbiage and the documentation, she's like, we're going to get on this right away.
No, I don't know any, and this is not me trying to badmouth it, I don't know any ER that was adhering to that time frame. It's such a, because on the NIH, because I did the petition and it garnered over 3,000 signatures, basically making it mandatory for them to adhere to these guidelines.
That's right.
Not many people knew they existed, and very fewer hospitals operated under the guidelines.
Right.
And that was within a 30-minute span, a patient with sickle cell should be already getting triaged.
Right.
And then it says within an hour, they should have received medication.
Exactly.
That's not our experience going into these hospitals. They're saying 30 minutes seen, an hour medication. We would spend 2 hours of not even being seen yet.
Exactly.
Of course, when you come in, they'll come and put a blood pressure cuff on you, get your temperature, and then, the post-oxygenation oximeter. But after that, you would still go sit, and then you would get these notifications from your phone telling you where you're waiting in line. That's not NIH guidelines.
Exactly.
Because I should already be seen within those 30 minutes and already have received something for medication.
Yeah. Well, we're pushing, now we're pushing with legislation. We're going to talk more about that at our conference on October the 31st, November the 1st, because we're having a legislative conference. So we're going to have more information surrounding that. But as we're getting ready to, wind down for a close, tell me what your dreams are and plans for your future.
That's a loaded question.
Marriage? Since you're single.
Yeah, of course I want to be married.
Okay.
I've always said no kids. And people think it's like for vain reasons, but it's because when I was young, I was always getting told what my life expectancy was. I was always getting told, well, you're not going to be here to this age, you're going to be this age. I already made it past what I was originally told, and I'm 34 now, but now they're like, average age is like, 49, 50-ish. So I just didn't want to bring a life into this world and then just not be there.
I got it. That makes
sense.
sense.
Leave my partner just, in the wind. So I always just worried about, because I do be having a lot of close calls. Like it's not like I'm just saying this and nothing has happened up until this point. I've been in comas. I've had doctors tell me my kidneys are failing. I've had doctors tell me about my heart. You know what I'm saying? I'm always facing a different, obstacle when I go to the hospital. So I try to take these things into consideration. But as far as marriage, I would love to spend the rest of my life with somebody. Long-term goals, I just want to be bigger in the space. I feel like in such a small period of time, I made a name for myself working with, different pharmaceutical companies.
An artist, because you rap.
Artist, yeah. I don't like
you're
to be
very
tooting
creative,
my horn like that.
You're very creative. You have this stuff in the making, and we can't talk about it today because we don't want anybody to take your idea. But you got some incredible things in the making.
Yeah, I appreciate that so much, and just bigger in the space. I work with phenomenal companies, people from these companies. A lot of them, and just being shout out by the CEO the other day for World Sickle Cell Day. I thought that was enlighten the city red for World Sickle Cell Day.
Yes, you did.
You know, just
That was so awesome.
Not to them.
You worked really hard on that, and then you went and took some beautiful pictures of that night.
Yeah, it was a fun.
World Sickle Cell Day.
I felt proud of myself. And my mom, she went out.
Yeah.
She drove her car out and she took.
And then you joined us earlier that night because we had our
Prudent Reserve fundraising dinner.
Yeah, fundraising.
Where we were trying to raise funds for sickle cell warriors to have houses.
Housing. Yeah.
And that's important in a space because you have these people that have a hard time working. Mm-hmm. They have a hard time maintaining jobs. Mm-hmm. They have finite resources with Medicaid and Social Security and SNAP that they can't afford. You know, with the influction of how cost of living.
Right.
So a stable building that could house all these different warriors as they're trying to become contributing members of society, not saying that they aren't,
right,
would be monumental because that's the biggest obstacle that people face is where they're going to live in housing.
I'm glad you said that because I did have someone tell me like, oh, that's not a good idea. There's so many other things, you know, you should focus on. No. You know, you could focus on the community health workers and newborn screening.
Were they a warrior? Was that it?
They were not a warrior. And so my response back was, we're the boots on the ground, right? We're out here. We know what the number one need is for our sickle cell warriors because they call us. We get the request in every day. We know the funding that's needed for housing. And so, of course, you know, we just ignore that.
You can't let people sway you from your dreams.
Yeah, exactly.
If you did that, we wouldn't be in this
We wouldn't be in the sanctuary, right.
We wouldn't be on this podcast.
Right,
you know
exactly.
We wouldn't have the cameraman over there. You wouldn't, you know what I'm saying?
We wouldn't have our talk show.
You wouldn't have a sickle cell sanctuary that other states are trying to emulate.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have that.
Yeah. I'm happy about that, though.
Right.
You know,
no, I mean in a good way. Yeah,
we have one now at Howard University in Washington, D.C.
It started with you.
Yeah, K-On Wellness in California,
right.
You know. And so I'm happy about that. But yeah, that's one thing that I learned. I'm not easily deterred by other people.
Because if you start that here, it could be seen in other states as
Absolutely.
well.
Yeah.
Because housing is important.
Housing is very important. My three sicklers, Mapilla Don and Gwen Morgan, Angela Shepard, Dr. Mitchell, Lois Williams, all of us get together, Mia Robinson, Crystal Stone, and we discuss, you know, how can we pull our resources together so that we can provide financial assistance to those individuals for housing, for rent, for short-term rental, Airbnb, hotel stays, because at the end of the day, we don't want our warriors homeless out there worried about that while they're already sickly.
You asked me a question, so now it's time for me to ask you a question. What's next for you?
What's next for me? So right now we are working on finding a new location because we're outgrown our building and we want to bring in more services for the sanctuary. And I'm looking for housing, of course, for our warriors. And we have this brand new talk show, Unveiling Sickle Cell Beyond the Pain. Now the podcast, a companion to Unveiling Sickle Cell called Beyond the Show. And we're doing executive branding right now. So branding me to the sickle cell space. And so that's ongoing. You're helping with that. And that's where I am right now. And there's a whole lot of projects going all at once. But, you know, I tell everybody, this would not be possible without this incredible team that I have. I have a young lady, a lawyer that called me this morning. And I was telling her, don't be dismayed or compare yourself to anyone else because this didn't just happen overnight. You know, people don't know where we started from when there was only 8 of us, right? And how horrible the building, you know, looked and it didn't function well. And so they look at all of the work and they see where we are now. They call it, what is it they call it? They see your glory, but they don't know the story. They don't know what we had to go through to get to where we are today. So as I told her, don't even look on Facebook and compare yourself because, you know how Facebook is, a story sometime in itself. And so she was like, I really needed that. I need some inspiration. I'm like, yeah, thank God that I had Deb, you know, when I was coming up the ranks. And so Deb was my motivator and the person that kept me inspired because it does get tough. It is challenging out here inside this market space. And yeah, so I'm just excited about our future. But here's the thing as we were getting ready to close out. What advice will you give younger children living with sickle cell disease as they're navigating their way to be 34 like you are?
What advice would I give people living with sickle cell? I would tell them to be a leader. You know, it's trendy to follow don't, as you just said, compare.
Yeah.
They say comparison is the thief of joy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like growing up, people say, I want to have a nice job. I want to have a house. I want to have 3 kids. And if you haven't reached that pillar by this time, you know, people kind of get hard on themselves and see themselves as a failure. Your journey is your own journey. Like even me being here, when I first ever started coming to the foundation, I didn't have any direction. I wasn't using my voice. I wasn't advocating for sickle cell. I didn't even know many people with sickle cell. And now I like to think that I'm one of the biggest advocates in the space.
Mhm.
Like I can stand next to the Mias, I can stand next to the AR the Prophets, I can stand next to the Tianas and the Shamanicas because I've put the work in. So, you know, it's on you. Take your time and things will happen in time. Just trust God and your path, not the next person's.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you for joining us today for this very personal look at life with sickle cell disease. Thank you to Blaze Eppinger for sharing his incredible story. We need your help, though. We need you to help spread this good news. We want you to like, share, screenshot, share. We want you to tag us at Sickle Cell GA. We want you to tag a warrior, tag a caregiver, tag someone that you know need this information. And let's not forget, there is hope in every heartbeat. I'm your host, Tabitha McGee, and I'll see you the next time.